Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2020 Ford Super Duty F-450 DRW Platinum. Now this is part of the 4th generation that was produced between 2017 and now, with this version being part of the 2020 refresh that the car got, with revised grille and tailgate design, new wheel options and improved interior materials for the higher trim levels. It also got a 10-speed automatic gearbox that is standard with the engine of this vehicle, and yeah, the DRW stands for dual rear wheels. As you can see, it's got 4 at the back, 2 on each side, and yeah, this is the first mass-produced dual-wheeled vehicle that we've had on a Forza game. We have had a dual rear wheel vehicle before in the form of a one of the Hot Wheels cars in the previous Forza Horizon game, but obviously that's a one-off, whereas this is a mass-produced vehicle. And yeah, this is the Platinum part of the name is in terms of the highest trim level that you can get in one of these Super Duties, which will set you back nearly $80,000, which is a huge amount. But then again, this is a huge car. It's got loads of gear inside. It's got loads of space as well, and yeah, pretty much everything you could ever ask for is in one of these kind of cars. You've got cup holders, you've got aircon, you've got radio, you've got LCD screen, you've got, you know, plush leather, you've got everything really in one of these cars. And yeah, you can be probably safe in mind that it's going to be quite a tough vehicle as well, and plenty of room in the rear as well for your miserable 3 passengers that go in the back and 1 in the front, which for a vehicle of this size isn't particularly that many. I would have expected a lot more to be able to in a vehicle of this length, that's for sure. And yeah, as you can see, a huge rear pickup that has a really rather clever tailgate design. Whoop, there it goes, so you can hold on to that pole and climb up, because it is quite a tall vehicle. So yeah, I do like the design of that tailgate. And yeah, it's got a monstrous engine. The 2020 revisions also made this engine far beefier, as it now has 475 horsepower and 1,050 pounds-feet of torque from a 6.7 litre turbo diesel V8 engine, which is a huge amount of horsepower and torque. That's about 20 horsepower or 25 horsepower more than what it had in the previous versions of this generation, and about 100 pounds-feet of torque more as well. So yeah, you're dealing with a huge amount of power there and plenty of torque. But then again, it needs it, as it weighs 8,587 pounds, which is despite the fact that this is an aluminium intensive body design, nicked from the F-150, which means it weighs about 350 pounds lighter than the previous generation. But yeah, that is still a huge amount of weight, and yeah, a huge amount of money to spend on such a vehicle like this. But nonetheless, let's get out onto the off-road part of the free roam map that I like to go out on in off-road vehicles and see what it can do. So here we are at part of the off-road part of the map that I like to go on with these vehicles, and yeah, you'll notice with the front wheels that they have quite a lot of steering lock, and the wheels themselves aren't particularly thick. It's like that purely to give you the best kind of turning circle in a vehicle that is really rather quite long and heavy, with a lot of the weight being up front. But to me, they don't inspire the greatest amount of confidence in terms of steering ability when you need to do a emergency manoeuvre, which is probably why a lot of these kind of trucks crash, because yeah, they don't have the best steering, doesn't have the best handling, doesn't have the best agility, and brakes wise, because of how much it weighs, even when without carrying anything, it's a huge amount of weight to deal with. And yeah, travelling at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, I can imagine the stopping distance on this is quite long. But as a work vehicle, yeah, it's more than capable, as you can see, dealing with the rough stuff. And yeah, acceleration wise, because of that 10-speed auto, is pretty damn good as well. 0 to 60 in 7.481 seconds, sorry. 0 to 119.2 seconds, and it will go into a top speed of 127 miles an hour, which is more than enough in a car like this, because yeah, it's a bit unwieldy, no doubt about that. But yeah, like I said, it is more than capable of dealing with the off-road stuff if you take it careful and take into account how much weight is in this vehicle, and especially in terms of how much is in weight up front. But I can't imagine anyone spending nearly $80,000 on something like this is going to be driving it as a work vehicle. Yes, you can buy it for as little as $32,000, but I really doubt anyone that's going to spend nearly $80,000 is going to be doing anything like this, let alone using it as a work vehicle. And yeah, there are surveys that suggest that most Americans don't even actually use a pickup part of a pickup truck all that much, if at all. I think it was about 70% of people only use their pickup bed once a year, which just begs the question, why are you buying something like this? I mean, look how huge it is. And it doesn't really say anything about you if you never use it, because that just means waste as far as I'm concerned. But I am glad this is on the game, no doubt about that, because we've never had something like this before. We have had big American trucks before. We've had the Ram 2,500 Power Wagon, but even this makes that look puny, and yeah, especially in terms of the engine that it's got with all of that power and torque. Because yeah, more than 1,000 pounds-feet of torque is an insane amount of torque, and yeah, it certainly helps make this thing shift, because yeah, it goes a lot quicker than you'd expect it to, given how much it weighs, and yeah, the horsepower levels, which are obviously not the main point of this car. It's all about the torque, so you not only are able to shift the weight of this vehicle, but also shift the weight of whatever you're carrying, and yeah. No doubt though that this is not a cheap car to buy and not a cheap car to run, but yeah, it's pretty formidable as an off-road vehicle and as a work vehicle, but it's a little bit expensive as far as I'm concerned for both of those. But in game, it is great, and yeah, really do enjoy the fact it's on here as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.